How did you react to the news about going?
Yeah, it's obviously disappointing. It's the first time in my career that I've been in a situation like that. But at the end of the day, the organization and to a lesser extent myself, kind of think it's probably the right thing for our group and gives me an opportunity to kind of reset in some way. So I think in terms of this year's team, I think it's the right thing to do. I think for me, it's a situation I have tried to avoid my whole life, but the way this season and last season have gone for me, I think definitely understandable and something that I'm going to try and embrace for the next couple of months.
Is this something where you view as just like a bump in the road towards your journey to getting back to being a full-time starter?
I don't know yet, man. To be honest with you, I think this is some sort of opportunity, and to kind of look at it that way and we'll fix it all in the off season, I don't think is the way I kind of operate. And I've been on a lot of really good teams and played to the end of this thing, and thinking about next year doesn't really help you do that.
So, I was just gonna say, what's the process of sort of getting ready over the next couple of days for just how you'll prepare, I guess, mentally, and also just pitch wise.
I mean, we'll have conversations about any pitch mix stuff or whatever. Obviously, the coaches in this building we have a lot of trust in and faith in. So, talking through that kind of stuff, and I assume maybe Sunday or Monday I'll probably be out there and ready to go. Trying to, I did make a start however many days ago, so there is the kind of recovery element of that, and kind of talking to people and trying to figure out what the best way with the throwing program and stuff. It is drastically different, and kind of having gone through what I have with my elbow, I think that's a huge part of that as well for me. So. Take a couple days and kind of wrap your head around it and try and put myself physically in a good position and mentally in a good position to help our team win.
Do you see it as a bright side that stuff might play up in shorter, more intense stints? Yeah,
I mean, the best bowl of my season last year was in the last game of the season, so there is kind of some hope for that, and kind of the reduction of the workload. Tommy John would always talk about the innings, and I threw 75 or 80 innings last year, and 110 this year, and a lot more in spring than I typically do. So, in some way there is that, and not having to put quite that workload. Hopefully the arm bounces back a little bit better and puts me in a position to kind of elevate the stuff a little bit.
You said in June that you're a starter. You've always been a starter. You didn't think you could fix what you needed to fix as a reliever. Do you think in this role, making this move, you will be able to fix or work on whatever it is that you need to work on?
No, not kind of in any way. I think there's some potential that this stuff ticks up and my arm kind of learns that it can throw hard again, and I pared down the pitches and I made one of them a lot better because I threw it a lot more. Sure, there's opportunities like that, but I've only been a starting pitcher one way in this league, and so no, to answer your question, I don't think that's going to help my starting career, but at the end of the day, it's going to help our team, and hopefully I can be some sort of valuable piece back there and pitch later in games as we go on and all that kind of good stuff. But, I think for now the off season is going to be based around kind of getting back to who I am as a starting pitcher, but next couple of months will be about trying to help our team win.
You kind of mentioned, the pitches, the number of pitches that you throw there, maybe paring down have you thought about that? I guess maybe talk with Bailey of kind of, how you might approach it that way, or is it kind of not?
It's just hard to say these two are the winners when they've all kind of sucked all year. So we'll figure out kind of what it looks like, and there's stuff that happens that kind of changes pitch mix, and one feels good, one doesn't, and so we'll kind of talk through that and see if we can get ourselves into a spot that we all feel comfortable with, and then kind of just go and try and compete, I guess.
At different spots this year, you did say you felt like things were close for you, like something was just on the horizon of clicking. Given the role being in the bullpen and the longevity of those starts and those appearances, I should say, do you feel like maybe that could be beneficial to getting you to a place where you can hone in on some of the good?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to have confidence in this game, and if I can find that in one inning bursts, I think that's a great thing for everyone involved. And there's some stuff about this season that I'm really proud of. Obviously, I had two, good game against Philly, good game against San Diego, two really good teams, and I think that'll be in the back of my mind that it's in there, and that I can be a successful starting pitcher. But right now, I'm just not. So, I think all in all, I think we're all kind of in agreement that this is the best best thing for our team, and I'm good with that.
You mentioned that you had the highlight of your year last year kind of was in a relief role. Thinking back on that, knowing that part of the game is mental, do you feel like that could kind of maybe be like a motivator, obviously acknowledging that there are other things that you want to work on?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy to have a year like I had last year and then it goes well at the end, and I was bad all year, but it worked out at the end, and I had 2 good playoff games and blah, 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 and kind of missed that, like, I had a bad year. And so, I really don't think I had a bad year until last year for myself. 22, I struggled a little bit, but everything else was kind of smooth, and so you can get a little complacent in that, and in that every time I walk out there I'm going to be good because I was for my first 100 starts in the big leagues or whatever it was. So a little bit of back to the drawing board and try and get my body in a better place for next year. But again, I think on the starting pitcher of my career stuff, I think honestly it's something for kind of a later date for me, and now it's kind of trying to orient what we're doing to help us now.
How much of a mental toll is the season taking on you? And I think the reset can help a little bit in that sense, just to kind of slow things down a little bit, reset.
Yeah, I mean, to be frank, if I wasn't so fucking miserable trying to get people out every 5 days, I don't think I would react positively at all to this. And so kind of a good sign of where I'm at mentally, that I'm trying to find an opportunity or kind of a bright spot in this for myself and for our team. And I'm not a guy that is ever going to stop trying to help us win in any way. That's just not how I am. So, hopefully I can find a way to kind of scratch out a place on our team.
Never having done this before in your career, anybody you feel like you can lean on or try to you'll be seeking out the next couple days?
Yeah, I mean, I relieved my first September, and it didn't go so great. I had one really bad outing that made it look awful, but it was my first time in the big leagues, and I think it's just a different situation. So I kind of had that in the last game last year. So there's some guys. I'll talk to Daniel Hudson for sure about it, and texted David Price, and some guys that I've played with and have good relationships with that have kind of gone through it. So, we have a lot of guys down there that have kind of gone through this as well. So, I think I'm in kind of good hands.